Right, I have here a brochure from 1958. There's a date stamp on there. For George Mann, two presses that were made in Hunslet in near Leeds in Yorkshire during the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s for the Fast 3 and the Fast 5. Talk to any old litho press man, you might still remember these machines. But this was found when I was clearing out my father's house, or recently, and there at the bottom of a wardrobe was this. He must have kept it for more than 50 years, 60 years, and shows the impression that this style of machine had on him. There were two machines. The Fast 3 was a single color press. The Fast 5 a two-color press. The Fast 3 was a medium format machine. The Fast 5 was we would call a very large format machine these days, even though all the dimensions are a bit odd to us because it was before we got round to having B2 and B3 presses. So, and all the dimensions are in inches rather than millimeters as well. But at the time, they were recognized as some of the best presses in the world and the ones that every aspiring apprentice wanted to run. The machines, as I say, were built in the middle of the century. There was a relationship, I'm told, by a chap called Jack Prince, who used to sell KBA machines for Edlon Machinery. There's a name from the past if you like. I interviewed him once when he was a retirement agent. He told me that there was a relationship between the Planeta factory in Dresden, which later became Koenig and Bauer, and George Mann. So they swapped designs. So the Fast 3 was made under license in one country using the dimensions from that country. So if there was the English dimensions, they were sent over to Germany in imperial dimensions. And the Fast 5 made in Leeds using millimeters. So there's a bit of a confusion. But the relationship obviously came to an end after the Second World War when Dresden became part of East Germany. But the machines continued. George Mann continued to make them and discovered something very odd. Then during the engineers found that there was a problem with the cylinders, that the stub ends of the cylinders fell off because the machine was running too fast. And it was running faster than many other metal products, cast metal products of the time. It was only when the Comet aircraft broke up in mid-air on a couple of occasions that the investigators discovered that the metal was failing. It was called metal fatigue. And these presses were suffering from metal fatigue. The castings had been used too soon and put on press and were running fast before the metal had settled down completely. So this is a reason why a lot of, when you go to some of those factories, those cylinders are hanging around in the yard with a light dusting of rust. It's not because they're rusting away, it's because they're getting ready to be machined and to avoid any problems that you might get from metal fatigue. There was a press like this at the London School of Printing where my father learned about offset lithography, and one or two people still remember those machines there. But that's probably where the machines were.